All right, so end-of-life planning. Not exactly the most exciting topic out there, right? Like we get is kind of like flossing, you should do it, but
Yeah,
not exactly the highlight of your day.
it's not the most fun to think about.
But the thing is, it's important, and we've gotten a lot of questions about burial insurance from you all.
Yes.
So we're going to do a deep dive into this and hopefully make this topic a little bit less intimidating and a lot more clear for everyone.
Totally.
So some of the things that we're going to talk about today are, okay, first of all, what exactly does burial insurance cover? Not just the funeral, right?
Right.
What other things does it cover? And then, is it really as easy to get as they say? I mean, no medical exams. How is that even possible?
Yeah.
And can you use the money from burial insurance for anything else? Or is it just strictly for burial costs?
Right.
So we are going to get into all of that and hopefully demystify
Yeah.
burial insurance for everyone.
Awesome.
Okay, so burial insurance, it's kind of like a special type of life insurance, right?
Exactly. It's specifically for covering end-of-life
It's
expenses.
those final expenses. But it is different from traditional life insurance, right?
Yes. With traditional life insurance, you're usually looking at replacing someone's income for their family or leaving a big inheritance. But with burial insurance, the
Right.
focus is on those immediate costs that pop up when someone passes away.
So, like, I think a lot of people just think it's like, okay, funeral costs, but what other sorts of things are we talking about here?
Right. Good question. We're talking about things like maybe any outstanding medical bills,
Right.
maybe some legal fees, even travel expenses for family members who are coming from out of town. The policies usually range from $5,000 to $50,000,
Right.
which might not sound like a lot compared to traditional life insurance, but it's meant to ease that, immediate financial strain on families.
Right, right. That makes sense. And, one of the things that kind of surprised me when I was looking into this was how easy it seemed to get burial insurance.
Yes.
And, like, no medical exam. Is that real? I mean, if I'm not in perfect health,
Yeah.
can I still get coverage? How does that work?
That's a great point. So they actually use a process called simplified underwriting.
Simplified underwriting. So what's that? In English?
Yeah, basically it's a faster, less intense way of assessing whether or not you qualify. So you answer a few basic health questions on the application, but there's usually no medical exam required.
No medical exam. Wow.
Yeah,
That's kind of amazing.
it is.
What's the catch? I mean, there's got to be a catch, right?
Well, the catch is generally that there are lower coverage amounts and you might pay a slightly higher premium than fully underwritten life insurance.
Right.
But, for a lot of people, especially older people or people who have the existing health conditions,
Yeah, yeah.
this is like a lifesaver because they might not qualify for traditional life insurance at all.
Wow.
So it's really about looking at what's most important to you
Right.
and kind of weighing those options.
That makes a lot of sense. And another thing that's interesting to me is that these policies, they never expire and they can build cash value over time.
Yes.
So it's not just a one-time payout, it's kind of like an investment too.
It's almost like a savings account attached to your policy, so it grows over time. And you can
Right.
you can potentially borrow against it, withdraw from it if you need to,
Wow.
though that might affect your death benefit.
Okay.
But the benefit is that that money go directly to your beneficiary, and they can use it however they need it.
So it's not locked into like just funeral expenses, right?
Exactly.
That's great.
And another plus is that the premiums are usually fixed for life, so once you lock in that rate, it won't go up.
Okay.
So it's all about having that sense of security and knowing that your loved ones are not going to get stuck with a huge bill.
Right. Okay. But even with fixed premiums, I imagine the cost still varies depending on your age and health, right?
Absolutely.
And how much coverage you choose.
Yes, definitely.
Now, what about this thing I keep hearing about, like graded benefits? I don't really understand that.
Yeah, graded benefits can be a little tricky. So think about it like this. Let's say somebody gets a policy when they're 75.
Okay.
But unfortunately, they pass away within the first year from a heart condition.
Uh-huh.
Some policies will only pay out, say, 50% of the death benefit.
Really?
But if that person passed away from an accident, then they would get the full amount. So it's kind of like a waiting period in a sense.
Oh, I see.
But it is super important to understand the nuances of
Yeah.
those graded benefits.
That is really important to know. So it sounds like with these policies, you really do need to read the fine print
Yes.
and understand the specifics before you sign up.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Find out exactly what's covered, what the limitations are,
Right.
and make sure you're 100% comfortable with the terms before you sign anything.
Okay, so just to recap for everyone, burial insurance is specifically designed to cover those end-of-life expenses. Usually it's easier to qualify for than traditional life insurance.
Yes,
It gives your beneficiaries flexibility in how they can use that money.
that's right.
and it can also build cash value over time. But it's really, really important to understand the specifics of each policy, especially those graded benefit clauses that you were talking about.
Yes,
Make sure
definitely.
it aligns with your needs and your wishes,
Exactly.
feeling a little bit more informed.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
Yes. Even if you're not thinking about burial insurance right now,
Right.
just understanding your options can be really valuable. It's about planning ahead, taking control, and easing that burden for your family.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's not always fun to think about these things, but it is a conversation worth having.
Yes, it is.
And like you said, planning ahead, being prepared is key. And hey, next time you're at a party and someone brings up life insurance,
Yeah.
you'll be the one who can like drop some knowledge.
Right.
Just maybe save it for after the cake.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.